there for this Wayzata team.
Wayzata coming into tonight's game, the section standings, Eden Prairie holding the 4 seed in Section 2. Bart desperately trying to hold on to that 4 to get a home game in sectionals. Wayzata with the 3 seed in Section 6, so a little bit more comfort there for them.
Well, I think both these teams, regardless of who they play and where they play, they're going to be ready to go. Too much experience on both of these. I'm staring directly across from a state championship banner held or hung by the Wayzata Trojans 2016. And Eden Prairie not that far removed. In fact, they made it to the state tournament the last 3 times. So these are 2 very proud programs, play with a lot of emotion, and I know they're going to be ready, but obviously that home ice advantage is going to be something that both teams desire. Looks like Wayzata is pretty firm, but Eden Prairie's got some facing challenges, Patrick, all year long.
Yep.
And, you know, sometimes you win, sometimes you don't, but it's just you have to keep fighting, and that's what they have to do tonight. If they have some adversity, they just have to fight through it, but that's what character teams do. But I just look forward to a very emotional game. Hopefully the Spirits don't get over the top and a lot of penalty and turn into a power play or a special teams fest. I just want to see good up and down hockey, and I think that's what we're going to see tonight.
Absolutely. So we come into tonight, Eden Prairie 8-12-1, Wayzata 12-8-1. This Thursday.
With this big line with Jensen out there, Rudrud and Jones, but it was O'Leary that countered with Joel Matthews' line, a little speed so they can get around the ice quite well. So this is a team that Eden Prairie is going to have to kind of mind their P's and Q's, because this is a team that can scoot. I don't think they talk much about their speed, but this is a team that can get up and down the ice and get behind you quite fast.
So pass down low to Brian Mulrenin, got down into the corner. Eden Prairie able to push it out into neutral ice. And Argetsinger able to send it down into the Wayzata zone. Poked back the other way by Tommy Bergsland along the near side. Argetsinger sent that one back in deep. And played around the net. The goaltender tonight, the junior Trevor Wong for the Trojans. As Grain gets tied up trying to force a turnover in the zone, it comes down to the near side. Grain able to push it back into the corner. He played down there by Bergsland. Play it off the near side. Ends up all the way to the far side boards in front of the penalty box area. Now back down to the near side. We're trying to whiffing on that one was Mulrenin. He tried to send it in deep to the Eden Prairie zone. Smith got tied up for Eden Prairie. Pagers gives it to Jensen. Jensen along the right wing side, working his way in. Loses the puck in a battle with Michael North, able to get it back up to Pager at the point. Trying to get it to Smith down low, just out of his reach. Continuing now down on the near side. The other way is Tristan Nelko, but he has that one taken away by Smith. Smith into the offensive zone as he sends that one through Pekowski down to the side. Wayzata back the other direction with Nelko. Nelko into the offensive zone with a wobbly pass that goes off the end board. Sends that one back up to the far side where Smith will come out with it. Pekowski now working his way through center as 3 Trojans oppose him as he crossed the blue line. Back the other direction. The Trojans tried to push it as that one sent back the other way. Along the far side in front of the bench area, and it goes up into the bench, and we'll have a face-off.
Well, I like the energy from this Eden Prairie team. They're not leading the blue line too early, so they're contesting Wayzata out of their zone and really muddying up the neutral zone. If they can continue to do that tonight, they're going to be in a pretty good situation. Where I think Eden Prairie plays their best hockey is when they get the puck down low and go to work behind the goal line and get behind the defenseman. We'll see what their game plan is tonight, but so far I like the energy from this Eden Prairie team.
As off the face-off, Joel Matthews for the Trojans pushes it back toward the Wayzata net. Played around, right up, Conan out in front, couldn't quite get a hold on it, and it's sent back up into the corner. Conan plays it around, so I don't know if that was a good play by Eden Prairie. Bart Conan almost ends up with the puck right in front of the net.
Yeah, Conan's been playing some solid hockey of late.
Joel Matthews into the zone with a shot loudly off the end wall. Down to the near side. Matthews takes a hit in the corner from Langfels. As Wilhite and Middlestead join down there, but Wayzata coming out with it. Play it back around to the near side toward Matthews. That got through him. It's sent back by Irwin to the near side. And tied up in the corner as Matthews ends up on the ice. Langfels to play it around the net. Middlestead on the far side. Send this one through and we'll get down to the near side boards as Wilhite takes a spill. Irwin sent this one all the way through the blue line and almost getting through. Penalty coming. Jones with a shot anyway. Delayed penalty coming against Wayzata. So a great job by Jones, despite getting hooked, able to still get through and get a shot on the goaltender.
Yeah, I think that's going to be Matt Branton. It was a nice move by the Eden Prairie forward to create some space. He really kind of had to take that penalty. Otherwise, it's Jones, who's no stranger to the scoring area. He had to take him down, but Jones had the wherewithal to gather the puck up, put a little pressure on the Wayzata goaltender, but now Eden Prairie, an improving 19.2% power play, but a penalty kill for Wayzata surprisingly low at 76.9. Normally we normally see them around 88 to 92, but they have a challenge in front of them. Great opportunity for Eden Prairie.
Schmidt and Jensen in the face-off circle. Wayzata gets an early clear all the way down. Eden Prairie back to get it in their own zone. A couple of Trojans down there looking to try to wreak some havoc as well. Conan up the near side, so this one through center ice where it's intercepted by the Trojans, and they'll flip it all the way back down once again.
Just going to say, Patrick, Trojans are very aggressive as far as their forwards on the penalty kill. They're trying to get on them right away, and so far it's kind of interrupted their stride. Nice job so far by Wayzata.
Conan into the offensive zone. He gets tied up in the near side circle. Langfels, he takes a hit as he tried to hold that one in, able to do so as Conan will play it, pokes it back behind the net. Rudrud back down to Middlestead. Rudrud with it once again. Back up to the tie circle. Rudrud behind the net now. And get it down to Middlestead. That one poked away from him. Penalty coming.
Keeping it up. And I think it's going to be on Middlestead, just a slashing penalty a little bit. They had Jensen in front all alone, but they opted to go over to Middlestead. Puck rolled him a bit, and Wayzata got control of Middlestead. Has the infraction, so for a minute and 4, assuming another penalty is not going to be called, there's going to be a lot of space out there for at least a minute and 4, and then Wayzata on the power play.
And that got to be interesting in that second period with all that open space from all those penalties, and we saw Eden Prairie cash in on that 4-on-3 during that game on Saturday night at the Eden Prairie Community Center. Play continuing down on the near side. 54 seconds in the 4-on-4. Here's Jones trying to work his way through. Couldn't quite get around Carter Anderson. Anderson will work his way around the net. Send this one up to neutral ice. Irwin with it for Eden Prairie. The offensive zone is Jones. Jones with a shot that goes over the net down into the corner. It caroms its way all the way back into the Eden Prairie zone. 32 seconds remaining in the 4-on-4 as Irwin looking to speed his way through center ice with Jones. Here's a high shot up into the net.
Well, it was a nice job actually by Irwin to gain the zone, but it was a nice ramping up on a play by Tyler Dingman. But if Andrew Irwin can kind of spearhead the rush, especially with all that room out there, a nice little delay, tried to change the angle on it, but a nice stick ramped it up and on a play. But if Andrew Irwin and Langfels and Pager can push that play up the ice, it's going to change the way Wayzata's going to have to defend. So I think that's something that they should continue to do until they can stop them.
Wayzata controlling the face-off. Luke Zedlick, he'll send it down to the near side. But good job. That's Crane tying up Michael North. It is eventually pushed out into the neutral zone. But some good work down by Eden Prairie in the offensive zone part, didn't win the face-off, but trying to take that puck away from these Wayzata defenders.
Well, they're taking very good angles. They're really kind of making them very uncomfortable. They're cutting the angles off and winning the races to the pucks. If they can continue that, good things for the Eagles.
Wayzata back at full strength, 47 seconds remaining in their power play time. They're having trouble getting out of their own zone. If this one's sent back up into the corner, ahead of Tommy Bergslin, brings it all the way around. Here's North with it on the near side. Back up to Bergslin, now on the far side it's Schmidt. Schmidt's pass comes all the way down to the near side. Schmidt gets tied up by Grain. Grain able to send this one all the way back into the Wayzata zone. Though Eden Prairie making the Wayzata Trojans uncomfortable as well, Bart, it looks on this power play in the abbreviated one.
It's got to give him some confidence.
As I say that, a shot over the net by Colin Schmidt, able to be held in at the blue line by Bergsland. And on the near side in the corner, coming out with it is Ness. Ness will try to get that one up high for Bergsland. Power play over. Both teams back at full strength as Ness will play this one around the net, down to the near side. Rudrud pushes it back up to Irwin. Irwin will play it along the far side boards. He swept out into the neutral zone. Offensive zone time for Eden Prairie. Rudrud gets it up to Jones. Jones with a shot saved by Wong.
Well, it was a really nice sequence by Conan, Rudrud, and Jones. Jones eventually ended up taking that shot, but they gained the zone. Then they kept their feet moving, working it to the open man. It did create some space. Pretty good shot on goal, but it was Wong that actually corralled that one quite easily. Just under 10 minutes in a scoreless first period. A little muddy in the neutral zone, but there has been offensive zone time.
Corner. Flipped out, held in by Argetsinger, but then poked out. With Ness the other way for Wayzata. Ness trying to get through, but he gets tied up, sent up into the corner. Conan trying to get it to Middlestead. Conan into the offensive zone. There's a shot that's saved by Wong. It pops up, it's loose, and now comes up into the corner. Getting tied up on the far side. It's a good job by Grain tying up Joel Matthews. Eventually works his way back out to Bergsland down the near side. That one goes off the stick as Anderson tries to put, here comes out front, and Jensen almost able to get a rush toward the goaltender. That one just poked away at the last second. Jones will now have it the other way off the turnover. As Jensen into the offensive zone, gets it behind him to Rudrud. Rudrud into the corner. He takes a little bit of physical play from Schmidt rather, and there's a shot that goes well wide. Eden Prairie able to hold it in. Pager. Rudrud with it.
Ooh, forced that one.
Tried to get it down to Horton, but as Bart said, tried to force that one in, and it's cleared out by Colin Schmidt. Back down into the Eden Prairie zone. And almost comes loose out front. There's a high shot deflected up into the netting.
Boy, really a heady play by Garrett Smith. He came in flying to stop that rush. Pretty good look from top of the dot by Wayzata, but it was Smith that came in and put his body in front of the puck. I don't know if it caromed off his shoulder pads or not, but the very effective defensive play. Face-off now to the Eden Prairie goaltender's right, and it's Ben Boulis in goal for Eden Prairie tonight. Haven't said his name, hasn't seen a lot of action, but another good quality goaltender for Eden Prairie. They got two pretty good ones.
3-on-2, perhaps the other direction for Eden Prairie. The pass out of the reach of Pikowski. Wayzata back the other direction with it into the offensive zone. Able to be held in by Branton. Wayzata crashing the net out front. It pops loose back toward the point. Loose out front. That shot blocked. It was Alex Solly who took that one.
It was a nice block by Langfels.
Pikowski back the other. Pikowski with some good moves, but unfortunately lost the puck. Sent up to the point by Bergsland. And that one just gets through Conan as he drove toward the net. Loose redirect. They score! Not quite sure if that'll be Smith who got the last tap on it or not, but nonetheless, it's 1-0 Eden Prairie.
Actually, I think it might be Conan or Smith, but it's not going to be Irwin. Irwin initiated the shot, but it was a redirect in front. I think it was Conan that actually got that, and Conan, that'll be his 11th goal. I think it is. We'll wait for the official scoring, but that's got to be a shot in the arm for Eden Prairie. You have to feel bad for Wong. I think he had it all squared up, and a little misdirection. Those are tough to handle if you're a goaltender, but Eden Prairie early, or 1-0 lead in this first period. 5:47 left in this first period, but Wayzata a chance to respond.
Coming at 11:13 of the first period. I like doing those little arithmetic games on those time of goals, as I think you and I have kind of gone over a few times now. Centering out front, Middlestead had it poked away from him before he could square it up. In the other direction, here's Ness into the offensive zone. That one pushed toward the net out of the reach of Matthews. Puck battle in the corner. Hook back behind the net. Irwin will play it around to the far side. Now out into the neutral zone as it's sent back in by Wayzata. Along the near side and almost coming out with it, trying to get it to Ness. Muddy area in front of the net, and Eden Prairie penalty coming.
It's going to be a hooking call to a stick penalty in your own zone. Not really what you want to take in the waning moments of the first period after a goal. But it's going to be Wilhite that's going to go, a solid contributor to this Eden Prairie squad. Now it's up to his teammates to pick him up. But good response by Wayzata Trojans. They had the numbers down. They had the puck where they wanted, but Eden Prairie just put up a wall of defense. But now it's going to be Wayzata. Opportune time to tie this game back up.
Pretty good power play for Wayzata, 23.1 on the season.
And the penalty kill for Eden Prairie is 64.6. It's kind of hovering around 60 to 66. So room for improvement, obviously. We've talked about it many times.
Ness pushes that one down to Schmidt. To Bergsland. Schmidt with it. Schmidt drives with a shot. It's loose out front. Ness couldn't. It's still loose. They score. It'll be Ness, I think, who ended up poking it in. But it's going to be a 1-1 tie game. Power play goal. I think it's going to be Luke Fairchild who will be credited with it.
Well, you are correct, and I don't really think they care who gets the credit for the goal as long as it goes in, but kind of unfortunate for Eden Prairie. It was Bullis that made the initial save. The puck rolled up and over him and hovered around the goal line, and I think it was just too many sticks from the Trojan squad pushed that puck over the line. So it didn't take him long to answer on that one, Patrick. I think Eden Prairie, rule of thumb is just stay out of the box as much as possible, but Wayzata saw an opportunity. They made the most of it. We're not at 4:49 left in this first period. Should be an exciting 5 minutes.
Argetsing are able to float this one down into the Wayzata zone. Poked up along the near side. Get through Michael Northat. Now Schmidt into the offensive zone. Schmidt getting tied up by a couple of Eden Prairie sticks. Wayzata now in front of the Eden Prairie bench will play it around to Tommy Leisen, one of the goal scorers for Wayzata. We haven't talked about a lot. He has 9 of them. That's good for third on the Trojans. That one deflects its way through. Schmidt with a shot. He scores! Colin Schmidt with his 11th of the season. It's 2-1 Wayzata, and that didn't take long at all.
No, it seemed like they got some really good energy off that power play goal, and they took the puck right down the ice, and their big hitters are making things happen. I think before it was Ness that spearheaded that one. Now this one is Colin Schmidt, and the senior scored, I believe, his 11th goal of the season, so he's no stranger to that area. But now it's up to Eden Prairie. I didn't really like the body language on that, but again, Wayzata's a pretty good team when motivated, and they just pushed the puck down and overwhelmed Eden Prairie. Now the challenge is back on Eden Prairie's shoulder. It's going to be like this, I think, until the final whistle. At least that's what we hope for. But Eden Prairie's been known to respond very positively.
We've seen that, especially when we saw them this past week against Minnetonka. I've seen them some other occasions that respond quickly on numerous occasions. Here's Ness into the offensive zone as this one dribbles wide of the net, down into the corner. Eden Prairie back the other way with Jensen. Jensen's that one poked off by Matthews. It's then all the way back into the Eden Prairie zone. Zerwin will send it around. It'll be intercepted by Matthews. Now here's Ness trying to center this one out front. There's a shot that goes off the end wall. Wayzata, they think they kind of smell blood in the water now. They're putting on a lot of pressure, and they've generated another couple of good looks there. That centering pass just out of reach. A moment ago down in front of the Eden Prairie net. Bergsland with it. He'll send this one up to the blue line, or it'll be sent in by Solly. It'll be played around the net. Langfell's back the other direction. Solly trying to center it, but it was intercepted. It's loose out front. Backhand blocked. Lining up for another shot. They score! Tyler Dingman, and it's 3-1.
Wow, just a couple giveaways, couple breakdowns in the defensive zone. They basically put the puck on Wayzata's stick, and all they had to do was redirect it in. I don't think Bullis really had a good look at that, but Eden Prairie can't get to the period break quick enough right now. The wheels are wobbling quite hard. They just can't contain Wayzata, and the longer Wayzata gets returns on their efforts, they're going to build confidence. The more confidence they have, the more difficult they're going to be to defend. So Eden Prairie's got to get on their horse and get back to work, get back to playing they were in the first 10 minutes of this game.
Now this game quickly turning in the direction of the Trojans. 3 very quick goals after they fell behind 1-0. Back the other direction to the Trojans trying to spring Tommy Harrison, Mikowski into the offensive zone. Working his way through. He'll have a shot that goes off the end wall. He'll get it back. He'll work his way back to the point. A shot that goes wide off the stick of Pager. Horton trying to play it around, but Wayzata will push it back to the neutral zone up the near side. Making its way around the Eden Prairie net. Pager will play it off the glass out to neutral ice and then send in deep. Pager again with it for Eden Prairie. Work this one toward the blue line, but again held in nicely by the Trojans. It's intercepted around the net by Wiesen. Push it up to the far side. Ness with a shot that's saved by Boulis. Pager with it. Tied up Pakowski along the near side. Pager plays it around to Horton. Horton trying to get it up to the blue line. Smith to Pakowski, who was passed a little bit out of his reach. Wayzata with Ness into the offensive zone. Ness with a shot that's blocked by Pager. Moves up into the near far side corner where Luke Money gets tied up with a handful of Eagles. Ness down there as well for Wayzata. Still free and still along those boards. Now Eden Prairie able to poke it back out. Pakowski with it for Eden Prairie. And this one up to Middlestat. Middlestat into the offensive zone. Middlestat loses it behind him, winding up for a shot. Back out in the neutral zone. Wilhite trying to fight with Money. Poked back into the Eden Prairie zone. Ness down there for Wayzata trying to take it away from Jensen. Jensen along the near side boards. Jensen with a shot, didn't get much on it at all. Played around to the near side. About to go under a minute to play. There's a shot by Argetsinger that got through to the goaltender. Long into the corner. Middlestat will play it up to the point with the Argetsinger up high. Argetsinger with a shot into traffic that's blocked. And Jensen went to the backhand off the rebound, couldn't quite find the goaltender. Sent back into the Wayzata zone. Branton with it. And this one up to the far side corner. Now back out all the way through. This will be an icing call.
Well, Coach O'Leary's arguing about the icing call. I think he has a legitimate point. I don't think that was really an icing, but break for Eden Prairie. But Eden Prairie was doing some good things. It just they can't get to the period long enough. But they're out of their comfort zone. They're not comfortable with the puck. They're getting rid of it. They're moving the puck backwards instead of forwards. So they have some adjustments to make. I'm very confident that Lee Smith is going to get them right. But they just have to survive the end of this period.
Look out, as here's Tarazuski catching up to it, and he pushed it toward the net. It was swept aside by Boulis.
Net's off the moorings. Refs don't see it.
Well, the net loose, as Bart points out, plays on. Conan with a shot that ends up being deflected up over the glass. Rather off the glass, I should say. Back out to neutral ice. Here's Tarazuski. Tarazuski trying to get around Langfels. Boulis getting out of the net to ward that one off, as that'll bring us to the end of the first period, where Eden Prairie played a great first 10 minutes, but Wayzata just overpowered them in the last 7. 3 very quick goals, and just like that, it was 3-1 as we go to the first intermission.
Well, Wayzata did get some energy tying the game up, and I think with the crowd here, their home rink, I think they kind of fed off that a little bit. It looks like Mulrennan is holding his wrist. We didn't see him much in that period, but we'll kind of try to keep you posted as much as possible. But I think Eden Prairie just regressed a little bit. They went back to their old habits of getting out of position, trying to do too much. It's not lack of effort. All the kids are working hard out there and doing that. But there was an example where Jensen had the puck, sent it over to the left side, but the left winger was trying to support the play on the other side. So they're just a little bit out of sorts and out of position. But I'm sure Coach Lee Smith's going to get things right. But 3-1 lead, Trojans, very good showing the last 7 minutes of that period. It's up to Eden Prairie to come out with some energy and respond.
And I think, we know Eden Prairie definitely capable of doing that, Bart. As we go to the first intermission here on Eden Prairie Boys Hockey, brought to you tonight by Shirts Unlimited, Tavern on 4 and 5, Walzer Toyota, and Green Mills. 3-1 Wayzata at the first intermission. We'll take a break. Back with your first period summary in about 10 minutes or so. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Pick Plymouth Ice Center, where Wayzata with a late first period flurry leads at 3-1 alongside Bart Archer. I'm Patrick Lilia. So, Bart, let's talk about that first period a little bit. Eden Prairie got off to that good start, but Wayzata with the flourish at the end. We'll talk about how Eden Prairie can get back into it or how you hope they'll respond.
Well, I think, in the first 10 minutes of that period, I think it was pretty much anybody's game. Eden Prairie scored, got a little energy, but then took a penalty, and then it was Wayzata that responded. And I think once they responded on the power play, it kind of gave everybody a lift on the bench. They came out, and subsequently, almost a minute later, scored again, and then in another 15 seconds, they score a third one. Yeah, it's really hard to kind of get your spirits up after giving up 3 goals, but the period came to an end. It's 3-1. They're 2 good shots away. Lee Smith has dealt with this before this year as far as keeping the spirits up and keeping it buoyant. But if you're Coach O'Leary, you have to like the way that your team responded. I mean, they dealt with a little adversity. They weathered the storm, and then they got scored on and came back and answered right away. And that's what teams do that are playing well at the right times. And it looks like Wayzata really kind of found their game in the last third of that period.
On the out-of-town scoreboard tonight, did see Lakeville South as I think I lost the score on that one, and so
the ticker went a little quick. Well, we can always focus on the score that we have here. Let's just run through the summary, and then we can get back to that if there's going to be time. But Eden Prairie opened the scoring, as we said, at the 11:33 mark. It was Conan with his 11th from Smith and Irwin. Then on the power play was Fairchild with his 3rd from Ness and Schmidt at the 11:55 mark. Then at 12:44, it was Schmidt scoring his 11th unassisted. Great effort on that one. And then at 13:59, it was Dingman scoring his 5th from Sully and Terezewski. And that's where we stand. Shots on goal that period. Eden Prairie with 6, Wayzata with 7. But the scoreboard is the important statistic, Patrick. As you know, it's 3-1 Wayzata.
Absolutely. So both teams back on the ice, and you hope for Wayzata. Do you think they should just keep doing what it is they're doing, or?
Yeah, well, if you look at the previous game, I mean, it was only 5 games ago they opened it up for a 6 spot during that second period. And there's a long line changes, fatigue can work into it, special teams. But I think the challenge is really in front of Lee Smith. I don't think Coach O'Leary is going to deviate much. His team's playing the right way. They're keeping their spacing, their positioning, and they're skating both directions. But I think if Coach Lee Smith just has to get back to simplifying things, just make things simple. Getting out of your zone efficiently is the first call to order. Once you can do that, then you can kind of work on the neutral zone. And if you can get those 2 zones intact, the offensive zone is going to kind of take care of itself. But they got to master your own zone if you're going to get out of this. But first and foremost, you have to defend. I mean, you're not going to get 2 goals on 1 shot. You have to keep the puck out of your net and then get positioned through the neutral zone. But Eden Prairie's faced this demon before, and they've risen to the occasion. Look for him to do it again.
Well, it'll be 3-1. Wayzata with the lead as we start the second period. It'll be Conan taking the face-off against Colin Schmidt at center ice.
Boy, Schmidt's a long drink of water, and he's got some ability. And usually people that have that kind of wingspan and leg span, they don't have wheels, but he can get up and down the ice awful quick.
Off the face-off, controlled by the Trojans, sent in by Tyler Dingman, who had one of those first period goals. Right away, we'll have an icing and a face-off back in the Wayzata zone.
Well, he's another tall one as well, but it didn't deter Lesko from putting him into the boards. He rushed him on that play, up and out of play, so face-off just outside the Wayzata zone.
As Eden Prairie controls the face-off, Pager getting the hard pass. He'll throw this one down in on the goaltender, Trevor Wong. Played around a Ness on the near side. Schmidt through center ice. He'll send it on the far side for Matthews. Matthews gets tied up behind the net. Eden Prairie back the other way as Jensen. He gets hit, loses the puck, tried to force it ahead, but Schmidt ends up with it. Now Lesko for Eden Prairie. He tries to push it toward the blue line. Wayzata again working hard. These physical plays certainly working in both directions for both teams. Now here's Lesko up the near side. He gets hit into the boards by Matthews. Played around the net. So far side. So both teams. That's intercepted out front by Jensen. Jensen, he scores! It's kind of hard to make it. We start with the goal. Jensen getting that one, Bart.
Wow, it was a bit of a misplay in the Wayzata zone. The puck may have rolled on him or hopped over his stick, but it was Jensen that caught the puck. I think it even surprised him, but I think it surprised Wong as well. But Jensen had the wherewithal to gather his thoughts and put a couple moves on, get the goaltender to freeze, and just put it into the net. But boy, if there's going to be a shot in the arm for the Eden Prairie Eagles, that was just it. And for Jensen, that's going to be his 16th goal of the season. But a nice effort, unassisted, at the 53-second mark of the second period. 3-2 now, only a one-goal game.
Absolutely. So the next thing I was going to say is it's kind of hard to talk about some of these in-game developments with how fast things are moving down there. As it's held into the Eden Prairie zone, Jones sends it back up into the corner. Jones now with Argetsinger up high, or up on the far side boards. As Smith trying to fight through that one. Here's Matthews with it. Matthews will bring it around his own net. Play it off the end wall up to the far side. It gets stuck in the skate of the linesman. Jones couldn't quite hold it in for Eden Prairie. Back out to neutral ice. Wayzata trying to get into the offensive zone. They'll push it up into the corner. It'll work its way around to the near side. With Tarazuski down there. It'll be Dingman. Get it back to Tarazuski. Prairie trying to bring it back the other direction. Jones gets it up goes off the stick of Smith. He dumped down in by North. Played around the Eden Prairie net up to the far side. Alex Solly. Centering feed swept out of there by Irwin. Pakowski along the far side. He gets hit. I'm going to say this physical play certainly not letting any of these teams get comfortable. As this one comes all the way back down to the near side, Michael North. Centering feed out front goes off I think that hit the post and then went into the side of the net.
Yeah, it actually hit Eden Prairie defender skate, then the post, then the side of the net. Kind of a trying moment for Eden Prairie. Good heat by Wayzata right now. They're really doing a good job of making Eden Prairie move their feet.
Wayzata trying to respond to the Eden Prairie goals. Eagles back the other direction. Pakowski into the offensive zone before he gets tied up by Money. Into the corner, played around to the near side. Held in by Schultz. Schultz into traffic. Off the bench, here's Wilhite. Wilhite working his way in. Wilhite with a shot that ends up along the near side board. Schultz trying to get it into the center, but that's blocked. Rudrud gets it back to Schultz at the point. As his shot is blocked, sent back out to neutral ice. Horton will send this one back up, but it's Wayzata able to push it back into the Eden Prairie zone. Getting through to center ice once again. Here's North with it. North trying to get it back the other direction for Ness. Ness down on the near side with Middlestat. Sent back into the Eden Prairie zone. And played their offensive zone, rather. Schmidt able to send this one all the way through. Now Eden Prairie able to push it into the Wayzata zone. Rudrud. Around the net. Now to Schultz for a shot. And Wong able to hold on.
Well, it was a nice job by Rudrud. Kind of surveyed the situation. He found the open man, and then Schultz at the point. Had a pretty good look on that one, but I think the puck kind of fluttered on him a little bit. Wong made that save look pretty easy, but I like what Eden Prairie is doing. They're far more patient with the puck. They have a little bit more purpose, and they're anticipating what they want to do. I think they're getting their defensemen a little bit too involved in the play when the Wayzata forwards are coming out, but a pretty nice possession by Eden Prairie in that last sequence.
Ness on the near side for Wayzata, held in by Conan. Ness, though, able to sweep this one up to the far side boards in front of the penalty box area. Eden Prairie dumps it back in. Flipped all the way back out to neutral ice. As Pager flips this one back in for Eden Prairie. So Eden Prairie looking like they're took that push from Wayzata, but now they're pushing right back.
Well, their angles are better, their positioning's better. They're forcing them into areas of coverage, so they're doing a lot of things far better than they were at the end of the period, but that's got to be encouraging for Lee Smith, and that's going to translate to the next line and then the line after that. So that's how you build momentum.
Jensen with his shot blocked by Dingman. Loose behind the net area. Wayzata back the other way. Schmidt will throw this one through center ice where it's deflected up, controlled by Eden Prairie. Lesko able to poke this one ahead. Eden Prairie is got by Conan, that goes wide. Harums its way back out to neutral ice. Eden Prairie touches up. Back down to the near side with Dingman. This one goes off the stick of Schmidt all the way down into the Eden Prairie zone. Argetsinger will get it behind his net. Argetsinger trying to get it back. He will. Getting through neutral ice. Argetsinger losing mind for Conan. There's a shot that's blocked in traffic.
Boy, that's a big block by Dingman.
There's a shot that's blocked again.
Why is that a defense right there?
Absolutely. But Eden Prairie continuing their surge as this one sent down in on goal, so no icing. 11:35 remaining in the period. 3-2 Wayzata with the lead. Chased down by Matthews into the Eden Prairie zone, but Jones will come out with it, trying to get it up to Pekowski. It goes off the far side boards. Wayzata will take it back in their own zone. Berglund with it, trying to send it up through center ice to Fairchild, who was credited with one of the Wayzata goals in the first period. Pekowski the other way, trying to get it down to Jones, and if Jones had been able to control that, he might have had a great opportunity to set something up, trying to center it, nobody there.
Yeah, that was a missed pass, but that actually worked out quite well. They got the puck deep, and they can maintain this end of the ice, so that wasn't a bad play, even though he kind of misfired on that pass.
Bergsland with it for Wayzata. Send this one up through neutral ice. It'll get by Argetsinger. Pager will play it back in his own zone.
Oh, you got to zip that one.
Intercepted down on the near side by the Trojans. Gets it back up. There's a shot deflected and saved by Boulis.
You know, that's a good save by Boulis right there. They had numbers down low. He opted to take that shot. The right play in that because he had a good look, but he had support down low. But Boulis not only made the save, but ramped it up out of any trouble whatsoever. Face-off is going to be in the Eden Prairie zone. But Boulis hadn't seen a lot of action early in this second period, so to come up with a save like that and direct the puck like that is it's got to give the young man some confidence.
Nelko will take the face-off against Middlestadt. Pager will push it around the net for Eden Prairie to Wilhite. Wilhite will send this one up for Rudrud.
Their zone exits are a lot more efficient.
Middlestadt into the offensive zone for Eden Prairie, trying to get it down to Pager, and that one deflected wide. Well, a penalty coming?
Well, I think it's going to be coincidentals, and I think it's going to be on Branton, and it's also going to be on Rudrud, so they're going to take them both. We're going to remain 5-on-5. They just got mixed up, started exchanging pleasantries, and the referee keeping good control of this. If you remember, Patrick, for those that watched the last time that these teams played, things got out of hand a little bit, and I think the referees are doing a good job of keeping control of this, letting the kids play, but don't dictate too much of the pace of play, and I think taking them both was appropriate. We still have a 5-on-5, so we play on.
Pager gets the shot into traffic.
Oh, boy.
That's loved by Wong.
Well, it was Grain that was down low being contested by the Wayzata defender, and I think that was going to be Carter Anderson, but Wong did a nice job of tracking that puck through traffic, holding onto it, face out to his right. Live for another battle.
Pager again controlling the face-off for Eden Prairie at the point. Trying to work his way along the near side and gets knocked off the puck by Ness. Now Middlestadt and Ness fighting for it. Gets way back up into the center. Argetsinger with a shot that's blocked. Wilhite trying to chase it down. It'll be Argetsinger who gets to it first. Grain behind the net for Eden Prairie. Wilhite tried to kind of get it down low, and it was just unable to be corralled as Middlestadt got tied up. Grain again behind the net. He gets tied up there.
And this is where Eden Prairie becomes effective. They can win these battles.
Wilhite with a shot. This one will sneak its way back out. Pager will send one wide of the net off the end wall. Will be held. No, not quite held in by Eden Prairie. Ness the other direction. Here's Ness trying to center it, but there's nobody there. Eden Prairie trying to push it back the other direction. That one goes off the stick of Wilhite. Ness back down on the near side, trying to poke it through for Schmidt. It'll be dumped all the way down in by Carter Anderson.
Oh,
just missing on that centering.
Argetsinger's going to get a hooking penalty.
Penalty coming against Argetsinger, as Bart mentioned. No empty net as Eden Prairie able to touch up.
You know, I understand. I understand the rule, but it started from lifting his stick from the ice and it continued. Sometimes they get hooked up. Unfortunately for Eden Prairie, they're going to be a man down, and it's going to be Argetsinger. But at 8:55 left in the second period, Wayzata up by one. Eden Prairie pushing. Now takes a penalty, and these are the kind of little things. And it was an effort play. He didn't go out of his way. It wasn't one of those blatant kind of deals. It's just one of those incidentals. But challenges in front to pick up Argetsinger, their teammates. So Eden Prairie's done a pretty good job of killing the penalty so far. Too much practice, though.
Off the face-off, still loose in the circle. It'll be poked back, around into the corner. It'll sneak by Schultz. Langfell's up in there for Eden Prairie. It'll be held in by the Trojans. Matthews will get it back up to the point. Berglund gets a shot into traffic, and that's held on to by Boulis.
Wow, that was a pretty good shot by Berglund. He's got 3 goals on the year, looking for his 4th. A lot of support in front by Wayzata, so they're getting somebody in front of the net. Eden Prairie doing a nice job of contesting him, but makes those sidelines pretty tough for Boulis, the Eden Prairie goaltender, but he tracked that one quite well. 1:40 in the penalty left to Argetsinger. Wayzata won the faceoff, has zone time, looking for them to win another faceoff and keep putting pressure on Eden Prairie.
Schmidt against Jones. Wayzata controls the faceoff. Bergslund gets it back down to the near side to North. As they try to get it back to Bergslund, it was a bad pass, so Bergslund will have to chase it all the way back into his own zone. Bergslund will send it up to the blue line. Schmidt with it. Schmidt will get poked off by Jones. Bergslund, though, able to get it back. Ness back to Bergslund. By in the corner. Bergslund with a shot toward the net. It's loose out front as it got through to Boulis, so it's poked up into the corner. Ness trying to get it back. The redirect just sent over the net by Dingman. Had an open net, but Dingman shot it high. Schmidt back up to Bergslund.
And Dingman's wide open on that right side.
Ness back to Bergslund. Bergslund with a shot that's blocked. Loose out front, they score!
Oh boy.
And that will be Ness. That'll be his 14th of the season.
Yeah, and he just went up just under the bar over the shoulder of Boulis. It was a left wing heavy power play. Really 4 bodies over on that side, and Dingman kind of isolated over on the right side, but it was Ness that decided to walk that one in, went under the crossbar. That's a big goal right there. We're back to a 2-goal lead. Wayzata has the momentum. Another power play goal for the Trojans, and that's their second one of the contest. Eden Prairie's got to stay out of the box, but their task at hand right now is to answer back with some energy.
So that penalty kill that had steadily been improving, now unfortunately they've given up 4 power play goals in their last 2 games.
Yeah, and 2 already tonight.
After this one heads in on Boulis, it'll be played by Horton. He'll play it around to Conan on the near side. Banked it off the boards. It'll be back in the Eden Prairie zone. So Ness with that power play goal as Pager lost the puck briefly. Wayzata overskated it a bit, and the Eagles able to send it back out of danger. Played around the net to the near side. It's Nelko. Eden Prairie playing it once again in their own zone up to the red line. Tarazuski, one of those down there, as Nelko pushing it back toward his own blue line. Conan with a shot high up off the end wall. Jensen with it for Eden Prairie. Unable to hold that one in, so the Eagles will have to reset. Be dumped down in by the Eagles.
Boy, if you're by the Eden Prairie bench, you better have your head on a swivel. A couple pucks went flying by. Didn't touch anybody, so that's good.
Tarazuski into the offensive zone. Tarazuski working his way around. There's a shot that just gets on the blocker of Boulis. It's Tarazuski from that wide angle shot. Here's Conan. Irwin centering it toward Wong, who had to get out of his position to make a save on it. Wilhite for Eden Prairie. Will poke it back the other direction. Held in at the blue line. Played by the Trojans now behind their own net. Get back up the other direction for Anderson. Anderson will send this one through to neutral ice. Irwin back the other way. This one intercepted. We'll have a penalty coming against Eden Prairie.
Wow.
As Langfels touches up, but another power play coming for the Trojans.
Yeah, it's another stick penalty. I think it's going to be to Wilhite. Got the stick under the arm, and I think the Wayzata Trojan closed his arm on that one. It's a nice play by the Wayzata player, but everybody on the bench, because it happened right in front, their arms went up, including the man in the striped shirt, and he's the one that's important. But 5:38 left in the second period, down by 2, another stick penalty, a neutral zone stick penalty as well, but it's out of effort. It's not laziness that's causing the penalty. They just have to pay more attention to how they're using their stick, but another great opportunity for Wayzata.
Face-off still loose in the circle. It pokes its way out to Jones. Jones will work his way through neutral ice before that one gets taken away by Bergslund. Bergslund back the other direction. It's behind him for Fairchild. Fairchild with a shot that's deflected up into the netting.
Well, a good job of defense by Eden Prairie. The official scoring in that last one was Ness, as we said, is 14th from Bergland and Schmidt. So Schmidt a couple points on the night. Bergland getting involved in the scoring as well. But they get another opportunity to build on those numbers. 1:44 left in the penalty to Wilhite.
Face-off works its way up into the corner. Getting tied up there is Irwin. Is Wayzata able to come out with it, trying to get it down to North, and it just got through him, or he might have had a point-blank shot at Boulis.
Well, there's a lot of room on that right side. Everything kind of sags toward the left, so got to pay particular attention to the whole sheet of the ice in your own zone.
Sent all the way back down into the Wayzata zone. Minute 20 remaining in the Wayzata power play. Break out from behind their own net. It's North the other way. Gets it to Ness at the blue line into the offensive zone. Schmidt with a shot deflected by Boulis. I was going to say that went up into the netting.
And it held onto it and wouldn't let it go, but it was Fairchild that was on the left wing side. Schmidt opted to take that shot, ramped up and out of play, but if he maybe would have seen Fairchild, a nice little feather pass through and a little redirect might have spelled a little bit of success, but that's what happens when you get numbers, and that's what you do when you're on the power play. You take advantage of those numbers, and Wayzata doing a good job of turning the play up and putting pressure on Bullis, the goaltender for Eden Prairie.
Matthews will take the face-off against Jensen. It's controlled again by Wayzata. Taraszewski, if that one taken away. Eden Prairie quickly back the other way with Jensen. Jensen with a shot, tried to go 5-hole, saved by Wong.
Wow, it's a nice play by Garrett Smith just outside his blue line neutral zone. Separated the puck from the Wayzata player, used his body to defend as Jensen picked it up with speed, got on top of the dot, tried to go 5-hole, but nice job by Wong to close that up quickly. He'll hold on to it, but pretty good opportunity shorthanded by Eden Prairie.
Eden Prairie able to win the face-off. Schultz with a one-time blast that's blocked. Played up behind the net now by the Trojans. 45 seconds remaining in the power play. 4:20 in the period. Sneaks through as Argetsinger able to poke it back to neutral ice. Jensen the other way with Smith. Jensen with a shot that goes wide. Worm its way around back into the neutral zone. Argetsinger trying to send it in deep, but he couldn't quite get it there. As Wayzata back into their offensive zone. Taraszewski sent that one back toward the blue line, but out. And
18 seconds left in the penalty. Wilhite, sorry, dude. Didn't mean to talk over you.
No, it's all good. I've been talking over you plenty tonight. So.
That's what we call preferred. Public service.
As on the far side, loose out front, and Eden Prairie able to get out of that one as Matthews came away with that opportunity.
Wow, you can't afford those opportunities. It was a nice job by Schultz to get his stick in there and clear that puck out of danger, but trying moment for Eden Prairie.
Penalty coming now against Wayzata. Eden Prairie will go extra man up. Grain trying to fight through to Jones. Get it back to Grain, and wobbly pass. It's still loose. Puck is still live, and now Wayzata touches up.
Well, I thought that was a pretty good job of Eden Prairie to try to maintain and keep that play alive and to get an opportunity. But Wayzata didn't quit. Once the arm went up, they actually kind of hammered down a little bit and tightened up. But it is going to be a penalty, and that's going to be Tommy Bergland, the junior defenseman, assisted on that last power play goal. Going to spend 2 minutes in the box. Great opportunity for Eden Prairie. 3:12 left in the second period, down by 2. If they're going to make a push or at least do something positive, you can go into the period with some energy, either just only a goal down or at least have some positives to relish for a little while. But Eden Prairie's got to get to work.
Got the face off up into the corner where Dingman gets tied up by a couple of Eagles. To fight their way out of there is Wayzata. It's Rudruder who comes out with it, gets it up to Langfells. Langfells to Jensen. Langfells again. Sets something up. There's Langfells with a shot into traffic. That's blocked and saved by Wong.
Well, that's pretty good work. Langfell's the only true defenseman on this power play. They got Rudrude back on the point, so they're trying to get some offensive flavor. Pretty good puck work between Jensen and Langfells. I thought Langfells was going to give it back to Jensen, but opted to take the shot short side, but Wong made that save look pretty easy, but pretty good pressure by Eden Prairie on the power play.
And the face-off comes back out to Langfells. Down to Rudrude on the Wayzata hockey logo. Conan back up high to Rudrude. Rudrude with a shot. It's loose out front, but couldn't quite catch up to it. Was Lesko and swept all the way down by Wayzata.
Well, that was a good save. Big rebound by Wong, but he had the support down there where they cleared it out of danger. Good opportunity by Eden Prairie, but nice defense by Wayzata. Sent it all the way down. Just a minute 13 seconds left on the penalty to Bergsland for Wayzata.
Rudrud looking to get into the neutral zone. He does. Now into the offensive zone. Conan with him. Rudrud gets it back up to Langfels. Jensen. Shot into traffic that's blocked, swept out, and again we'll go all the way down for a clear.
Well, Wayzata, I don't think there's anybody in the white that's afraid to get in front of a shot for his team. That's been their kind of mantra for the last 5 to 7 years. I haven't seen a better team defensively blocking shots in this Wayzata program.
Lesko into the offensive zone for Eden Prairie. He's going to work his way around the net. Get it back up to Langfels in front of the benches. Rudrud will come up with it now. Conan trying to get it to Rudrud. He can get a lot on the pass, but they were able to at least get it back to Conan. With the Langfels. Looking to set up that one-timer, but again, Bart, those Wayzata defenders just setting up so well. Rudrud into that one, didn't get a lot on it, and Conan's shot goes wide.
Well, they're taking too long. They're getting the play. You should anticipate what you're going to do before you get it. You're giving them a chance to get in position to block those shots. Move the puck.
Wayzata back at full strength. Langfels able to hold that one in as Burbs one back on. Lesko trying to go wrap around, got tied up.
Oh!
Scores! I don't know how that one got through to him, and then somehow he got it by the goaltender Wong. It's 4-3.
Well, and Wayzata was doing such a great job of defending, but you never quit on the play, and I think it might have been Jensen that forced that puck, or Lesko, or one of the upper team numbers that kept that puck alive, and then just sent across the crease over to Jensen, and he almost whiffed on that one, just enough momentum to put that puck over the line. But now Eden Prairie down by one, under a minute to go in the period, but what a big lift for Lee Smith and the Eden Prairie Eagles. Wayzata doesn't look too phased. They're right back to the dot. Both teams want to finish this last minute strong.
There's Fairchild into the offensive zone. Ness crashing the net for Wayzata. He'll poke this one into the corner. 50 seconds remaining. Spakowski the other way with Jones. Spakowski with a shot that goes off the end wall. Pager couldn't quite hold it in. Penalty was an offside warning, my apologies. Wayzata in their own zone with it. They'll push it up through neutral ice. Schmidt has that one poked away by Smith. And then Ness sent this one down in deep. 24 seconds remaining. Spakowski sending it back toward the blue line. Held in by Wayzata. It was Dingman. Horton trying to send it back to Spakowski. Ness sends this one back up to Horton. 10 seconds remaining.
Don't play the clock. Play till the whistle.
Absolutely, as this one comes loose out front, but swept down into the corner. And as you were saying, Bart, as the second period comes to an end, don't play the clock, because Eden Prairie found out in their last game you don't want to get burned with 1 second remaining in the period.
Well, it just seemed like their attempt at his own exit was a little bit too deliberate, didn't get any urgency on it, and Wayzata's too good of a team to do that, so they turned the puck back up the ice. But the official scoring in that one was Jensen from Conan and Lesko at the 16:01 mark, so it was Lesko that actually got that puck free. It was Conan that sent it across, and it was Jensen that finished it out. But we're 4-3 right now. Eagles have to feel pretty good about that period, showing a lot of character and a lot of resiliency. But Wayzata, they don't look phased. They just look very comfortable. They're in their own backyard. They got plenty of support and energy out here. So this is going to be a very lively third period. It's Lake Conference hockey in the middle of February. It's pretty good stuff.
A very unpredictable game, Bart. What do you think we're going to look for in the third period?
Well, I think that Eden Prairie shows that energy early, and then it's up to Wayzata to respond. If Coach O'Leary can get his team to show that energy right out of the gate, they're going to put Eden Prairie back on the 8 ball. But I just think both teams are going to come out and play a very responsible brand. I don't think the physical part of it's going to tone down, but I think it's going to have purpose. But I think the neutral zone is going to be awful congested, so who can ever manage and negotiate the neutral zone with the greatest success, I think, is going to have the best chance to win tonight. But Wayzata certainly has an advantage going in, but Eden Prairie's going to come out with some fire, I'm sure of that. Yeah, Look at all those pucks.
Yeah, those might be the most chucka pucks I've ever seen at any arena.
And they're still coming. Note, rule of thumb, people, don't sit in the front row by the glass, because not everybody has the strength to get it over.
So the horn sounds on the chucka puck as that chaos kind of comes to an end. And remind you tonight that our game brought to you by Shirts Unlimited. We'll have our player of the game selected by Mr. Bart Archer after the game. Also tonight's brought to you by Green Mill. Walzer Toyota and Tavern on 4 and 5.
Shirts Unlimited?
I think we got Shirts Unlimited.
Okay.
We're going to have the player of the game later
oh,
on.
Gotcha.
So
I just wanted to dazzle that I wanted to contribute.
So as it's come to the second intermission here at the Pick, 4-3 in favor of the Wayzata Trojans. Buckle up, got a busy third period coming up. We'll take a break and come back with that third period in about 10 minutes or so. Welcome back to the Plymouth Ice Center, where the Wayzata Trojans holding a 4-3 lead over Eden Prairie as we get set to start the third period momentarily. Alongside Bart Archer, I'm Patrick Lilia with our crew of Todd Grover and Brett Johnson here from Plymouth. So Bart, that unpredictable second period, I think there's a good chance we can expect that to continue in the third.
Well, I agree. In fact, it was Jack Jensen that scored at the 53-second mark with his 16th goal unassisted. Kind of a misplay by Wayzata, an unusual misplay in their own zone. They don't do that very often, but he took advantage of it. And then kind of things settled out a little bit. Then it was Ness that scored his 14th from Bergsland and Schmidt on the power play. So 2 power play goals for Wayzata. Eden Prairie's got to stay out of the box. And then Jensen rounded out the scoring with his 17th at the 16:01 mark from Cronin and Lesko. And that really gave Eden Prairie some energy. Going into the locker room, if you're going to go into the locker room for 12 to 15 minutes, if you can have good feelings, that's not a bad situation. It's when you're down is when it could be. It seemed like it takes forever, but I think both teams are just eager to get back to action. But it's going to be an exciting 17 minutes. I think if Wayzata has one thing they have to focus on is getting out of their zone a little bit more efficiently. I think Eden Prairie getting the puck deep and putting pressure on has really kind of interrupted the stride of this Wayzata team, and they struggle to get that speed through the neutral zone. So a very successful second period, contrary to the previous meeting where Eden Prairie gave up 6. They only gave up 1 that period, actually outscored them 2-1, and that's where we are right now, 4-3. Promises to be a good one.
Absolutely. So we know the counterpunch likely coming from the Trojans. How can Eden Prairie weather that and keep this a 1-goal game?
Well, that's a good question. I think just positioning, playing responsible, just maintain your position. I think it gets down to stay simple, do your job. And I've said it many, many times for those that have tuned into our broadcast. Once you start doing more than what you're expected to or more than your job, then it's the yarn on the sweater, it pulls, and pretty soon you lose your integrity and you start chasing the play. So if they can maintain their positioning and just be efficient and kind of limit the time and space and cover all grounds in their zone, I think Eden Prairie is going to be just fine. But they have some challenges ahead of them, and first thing is get that next goal.
Face off, poked back in favor of the Trojans. They'll try to poke that one ahead by Anderson. He's sent all the way down into the Eden Prairie zone, down on the near side. Lesko getting tied up. Was Monet able to hold that in as it pokes itself free and able to squirt all the way through. Go down, be played by the Trojans in their own zone. Icing waved off. Lesko all the way down there. Rather, that's Jensen, my apologies. It's Lesko going to the ice, trying to keep that puck from going around the boards. Jensen getting it back up to Langfeld, so this squirts back free. Lesko behind his own net, gets tied up by a couple of Trojans. Back the other way, Monet pushes this one for Ness. Ness will flip this one down into the zone as Money. They're saying that right the first time during the game. For some reason, I guess it just got away from me a little bit.
Creative licensing is what they call it.
There's a shot by Jensen up into the netting.
Well, Patrick, you're with the right guy because I mispronounce, and it's no disrespect. Nobody wants to have anybody's name mispronounced, but sometimes, especially in your position, I mean, you have to kind of do things in a certain cadence where I have a little bit more latitude, but don't worry, I'll mispronounce a couple, take the heat off you for sure.
Keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, right on.
Face off controlled by Argetsinger. There's a shot blocked that goes off the leg of Leisen. Back up to the circle. Bukowski back to Argetsinger. He'll try to play it around towards Smith. Wayzata able to push this one, but held in as that went off the Wayzata player. Now they do get it back out to neutral ice. Leisen driving toward the net. Leisen loose out front, poked away. Smith back the other way for Eden Prairie, trying to get it down, I think, to Bukowski, but it got tied up in Argetsinger instead. Goes down into the Eden Prairie offensive zone. Go down into the corner. Put this one out to neutral ice. Argetsinger able to knock it down with the glove, but Wayzata back the other way into the offensive zone. Leisen able to push this one back to the red line, where it's dumped in deep by Anderson. Major up in the corner for Eden Prairie. This one behind the net for Argetsinger. This one goes off the stick of Rudrud. It might have just been trying to get it out to center ice, and Rudrud just happened to get in the way of it.
Just relieve a little pressure.
This one loose out front. Poulis able to get a save as that one popped out tantalizingly in front of Alex Solly. Solly got a good shot on goal.
Yeah, indeed he did. He had to go to Engel on that one too. But it was Bolus that won that matchup. But Solly looking for that first tally of the year. The way he took that shot, you'd think he'd have a couple more. So he's eager to get one, but a nice job by the Eden Prairie goaltender. Held on to the rebound as well.
Nelko with face-off. Wayzata controlling in the offensive zone, and now we're going to have a penalty coming, I think.
Just playing the puck with the hand, but it's going to be Wayzata, so it's going to come all the way back down in the zone. But yeah, when the referees blow the whistle and start waving their arms, you think it's a penalty. I'm relieved it's not, but Eden Prairie with a pretty good opportunity. There was some pressure that Wayzata was putting on. This is a nice release of that pressure. Very important face-off for both teams. 14:40 left in the third period. Eden Prairie needs a goal.
Middlestat with a shot into traffic.
Boy.
And Wayzata fighting in their own zone, able to push it out to neutral ice, and that puck had a little more steam on it. That might have been Nelko who might have gotten a long rush into the Eden Prairie zone.
And he was the one that jumped in front of that slap shot too, so very effective shift so far.
Horton able to hold it in. Now Wayzata back the other direction with Karaszewski. Rzuski getting tied up in front of the bench, able to come through. Here's a shot saved by Bulis.
Boy, look at that rebound too. Good support by Eden Prairie to pick up a very juicy rebound, but nice save.
And go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say Taraszewski's one of these players that doesn't score a lot, but he's capable of scoring, but he has some speed on the outside. He really kind of gained some speed going along the wall. Pretty good shot on Bolus, but that rebound was awful. Juicy coming out, but good defensive support by the Eagles cleared that danger.
I think Wayzata caught a break going the other way. Rudrud, if he could have controlled that pass, they might have had a 2-on-1 going the other way.
Absolutely. Puck's been rolling a little bit tonight.
He's been played back by the Trojans into neutral ice. Matthew trying to gain the offensive zone, and that one knocked off of his sticks. It's flipped back out by the Eagles. As Bergson sends this one back out to center. Langfeld tied up on the far side by Money. Just works its way around the net. Near side. Lesko couldn't quite catch up to that one. Ness does for Wayzata. Sweep it back up into the Trojan zone. And all the way through, and this will be an icing, and we'll have a face-off deep in the Wayzata zone.
Well, not a great flow so far, but a lot of whistles so far this period, but take them in increments with 13-19. So, you know, we played 3 minutes, 41 seconds so far. Nothing's really been established, but I think Wayzata so far has the best scoring opportunity going on, but Eden Prairie's got some zone time, but Wayzata with that tough defense really just limiting the looks to the net.
Wayzata carrying the face-off around to the near side. Wisen, he gets tied up nicely by Smith. Smith doing some good work for Eden Prairie, trying to force a turnover. Trojans, though, gain the offensive zone. Wisen poked off the puck as he started his drive toward the net. Comes back out. Here's a shot that goes wide off the stick of Anderson. We held in up in front of the bench area. It's played around to the near side. Mikowski trying to get it to the blue line. Couldn't quite get it out. Now it is flipped out by Eden Prairie. Smith with Pikowski. Gets it back to Langfeld as it goes off of his stick. There's a shot saved by Wong.
Well, that's a really good sequence. It was Smith that came in with numbers, and I think it was Pikowski that went beelined it for the net, which is what you want to do. Take the defenseman with you, and he saw the trailer and Langfeld, but that puck rolled on him a little bit. Still got a good shot on, so nice job to gather that puck up and actually put a shot on goal, but Wong again received that one. Nary a second chance face-off in the Wayzata zone.
Middlestat for the face-off for Eden Prairie, still loose in the circle, works its way in front of the net where Wayzata has it with North. North will try to push this one up ahead for Nelko, but Eden Prairie pushing it back into the Wayzata zone. Now the Trojans back the other direction. North will send this one all the way down into the far side corner. It'll be played around to Argetsinger. Argetsinger will send this one
nice
all the way for Rudrud. Rudrud goes to the ice. He'll gain the offensive zone. Get tied up in the near corner by Dingman. Wilhite down there for Eden Prairie as well. Wilhite comes out with it, trying to center it, but it'll sneak through. It'll be held in by Pager. Middlestat gets it around to Wilhite. Wilhite tried to center it. Didn't get a lot on it. Perhaps that was for the better if there was nobody there. Wayzata able to get it out to neutral anyway.
Nice subtle stick by Rudrud to force that play.
Rudrud doing some good work down there in the high end of the neutral zone. Now in the offensive zone, he'll poke it back around. Here's Karaszewski with it. Lesko working to work his way around. Lesko working his way to Rudrud with a shot that just goes wide. Down into the near side corner. North will bank it out into the neutral zone for Wayzata.
Boy, Rudrud's got to get off the ice. He was on for over a minute. He was going to come off, but he saw a scoring opportunity. Almost knocked one in, but good shit by Rudrud.
We've seen a lot of, we talked about these rolling pucks and had some players kind of slipping and falling. Is there something, as this one sneaks through down into the corner, there's a shot that goes off the side of the net.
Well, we'll break that down next whistle.
Sounds good.
I have a theory.
Poked up through the neutral zone by the Trojans. There's a shot saved by Boulis. Comes out to Ness. Has to play it through the corner. Matthews down there for Wayzata. He'll play it backcourt around the net. Singer will reverse direction. He gets tied up by Money up in the corner. 10:30 to go in regulation. Middlestat it's Conan trying to poke that one toward the blue line. Schultz will play it in the zone. Schultz being chased by Schmidt and is eventually out to neutral ice. Lesko will gain the offensive zone. Conan trying to catch up to that, but North got to it first. Wayzata back the other direction through neutral ice. Fairchild harassed by Horton around the net. Irwin will play it up, held in by Wayzata. Didn't get a lot on that hold attempt though, and now it is sent out, but it'll go all the way down into the Wayzata zone. Wayzata will have to play it behind their net. Get around to the near side. Irwin up in his own zone. We'll get it to Bukowski. That one was off of his stick. Bukowski on the drive, and a save by Wong. There's that big number 12 again. Here's Jones with a shot. Rebound loose out front. Swept up into the far side boards. Wayzata back the other direction with Schmidt. Schmidt working to work his way in. Schmidt with a backhand shot that goes through the blue. Held in by Wayzata. So now both teams turning on the Jets a little bit here, Bart, trying to...
Things are starting to open up a little bit.
Absolutely. This one held in, but then poked up toward the blue line. Horton able to poke it out, or at least ensure it made its way out. Jones trying to work his way back the other direction. Might have got tied up with the linesman on the far side there. Wayzata able to dump this one in with Nick Gardner. Langfeld send it back toward Irwin. Irwin will send this one to Smith. Smith gets tied up by a couple of white jerseys at the blue line, including Birchland and North. Wayzata with it in their own zone as Harrison sends it back into center ice. Karaszewski up the near side will send this one wide of the net. Rudrud on the far side for Eden Prairie sends this one up into the bench. Boy,
that was about 4 or 5 minutes of nonstop action, but you're right, Patrick. Things are opening up. And people are starting to move their feet. There's some room in the neutral zone. Not really completely what I expected, but getting back to the puck rolling and stuff, and I just think it's a consequence, and I'm not saying it's unique to Lake Conference hockey, but it is a characteristic of Lake Conference hockey. It's a very physical conference, and once the physical play starts coming up, you start looking up, you start rushing things, you kind of, pucks can roll. It's like taking your eye off the ball if you're a receiver. You look ahead to make the play, and you end up not catching the ball. So I think that it's just the pace of play and the physicality is causing the puck to roll because they're trying to make plays a little quicker than they normally do.
My comment was going to be perhaps maybe the ice quality a little rougher here at the ice center. I'm not sure about how things vary from rink to rink. I imagine different equipment perhaps, different variables maybe.
Sure, even freezing the pucks, there's a lot of variables that work into it. But I don't see the puck bouncing a whole bunch, but I do see it rolling off sticks. So I'd say the puck's okay, the ice is okay. It's just the pace of play, I think, is just a little bit quicker than the mind in certain spots, and that causes those kind of mistakes. But it creates opportunity, makes things kind of fun.
Trying to set up for the long pass. That one intercepted by Pager. They were trying to spring Gardner going the other direction, or rather Ness going the other direction. Jensen up the right wing side. Jensen gets knocked off the puck there. Held in by Argetsinger. Argetsinger with a shot into traffic. That's
be quicker than that.
Ness back the other way. 1-on-2 for Wayzata. Tied up in front of the Eden Prairie bench. Puck still tucked in under those skates. couple of guys whacking at it, including Fairchild and Conan.
Looks like a rugby scrum.
It's almost rugby season, I think. It starts in the spring sport. And pokes its way out to Fairchild. Again, another tie up behind the net.
They're going to move the scrum over to here.
Jensen able to come out with it. Gets it to Lesko. It's going to come loose out front. Bula's able to poke it away. Sent out to neutral ice by Conan. And he tries to tie up Schmidt. Couldn't quite get a lot on it as Schmidt's pass a little bit behind Wiesen. Here's this one a little bit out in front as Rudrud tried to catch up to that one, but it'll get to Wong first and he'll cover.
Well, you have to appreciate Colin Schmidt's unselfishness on that one. I think he's shaking his head a little bit. Kind of wants that one back. It was a good play to make. He just kind of handcuffed him a little bit with that pass. He may have been better served to shoot, maybe get the rebound off Bullis because he had support, but you can't blame him for being unselfish, but I think he wants a mulligan on that one. 6:15 left in regulation. Eagles still down by 1.
Middlesex off the faceoff trying to center it. It's still loose, now poked up into the corner. Great job by Middlestead off that faceoff. Bart able to gain control and drive the net.
Absolutely. Good shot on good pressure, and they need more of that.
Brings its way around to the near side. Middlestead able to poke that one up toward Wilhite. Wayzata able to send it out to neutral. Irwin, Langfels will bank this off the far side board. It'll be chased down by the Trojans in their own zone. Played up the near side for Tarazuski. Play it around his own net. As it comes loose out front, Rudrud's going to work his way in, trying to center it. Wilhite couldn't quite finish.
How did he miss that shot? Just a little bit wide, but really good work by Eden Prairie forwards to free that puck up and put some pressure on.
And Eden Prairie now back in their own zone. This one sent through. Here's Wilhite. He'll get another crack at it. Wilhite into the corner. Wilhite able to get out behind the net. Trying to get it back up toward the top of the circle. As it floats its way in, whacked at by Middlestat. Wayzata back the other direction. And it's been sent up into the bench by the Trojans, and we'll have a face-off with 5:02 remaining.
Well, Eden Prairie's doing a nice job of taking Wayzata out of their game. Now it's Wayzata in their own zone, rushing the play and just trying to get the puck up and out of danger. So Eden Prairie doing a nice job of pushing the play forward as opposed to retreating, and Wayzata's kind of struggling just a little bit to maintain control or to catch up with Eden Prairie. So 5:02 going to be an exciting time, but it's going to go pretty quick for Eden Prairie. It's going to take forever for Wayzata.
Horton, this one sneaks through Matthews. Now Ness will get it and have it knocked away from him. Jensen will drive this one in deep for Eden Prairie. Going to rush it a little bit. I don't think Bertzland really saw the Eden Prairie players rushing that puck. He had to pick up the pace a bit. Horton will push this one back into the zone for Eden Prairie. Long passing off the boards. Irwin able to send this one back in front of the bench area. Jensen with it in his own zone will dump this one down into his own corner. As Horton plays it around. Schultz whacks at it. Wayzata though able to come up with it. Matthews along the far side boards. Put this one out to neutral ice where North will be back to get it for Wayzata. It's intercepted by Pekowski as they tried to get it to Ness. It'll work its way around the net. There's a hit put on down there behind the net. Pekowski down there working hard for Eden Prairie. Now here's Ness up the left wing side. Ness trying to work his way into the middle. He'll end up with the puck as this one deflects up toward the netting. Remains in play down on the near side. Swept up onto the far side boards. Here's Conan with it for Eden Prairie. Send this one down in deep. I'm going to say though, he let that one go behind the line.
Yeah, he cheated a little bit, but another step, he probably would have been fine, but Wayzata, some nice work. 3:42 left. It's getting to be to the situation where Eden Prairie's going to have to start taking some chances. They're getting some decent zone time, not great quality looks at the goal, but look for players like Langfels to kind of join the play a little bit more. Maybe Irwin and maybe Pager, but the defense are going to have to be aggressive as far as their pinch to keep the puck in the zone. So it might leave you vulnerable. So a couple odd man rushes by Wayzata might be a consequence.
Wong, whoa, he threw that one back toward his net. I think that was a little bit closer than I think anybody in this building would have liked, Mark.
Oh, Wong's going to tell you he had everything under control, so no big deal. But you're right, kind of a trying moment.
We'll play this one down to the near side boards. Pager will play it around. Karaszewski there to intercept for Wayzata. He'll get tied up behind the net. Jones getting tied up down there as well. Jones will come out with it. About to go under 3 minutes remaining in regulation. Lesko. From this one back into his own zone for Argetsinger. Pager now with it. Intercepted on the far side boards and then dumped in by the Trojans, and we'll have a stoppage of play.
Well, everybody's looking. What the whistle as it stands. I don't know what the call was. I'm sorry about that, but really a good shift by Garrett Smith. Very tenacious. Won some races to the puck, but did a nice job of contesting Wayzata. 2:48 left in regulation time. Probably around the 2-minute mark or so. I look forward to probably Lee Smith calling a timeout, resting things out, getting people focused. But we got some work to do if you're an Eden Prairie Eagles player. Push the puck up quickly.
Irwin trying to get it up to Rudrud. That goes off of Rudrud's stick down deep into the Wayzata zone. We'll play it around for Matthews. Irwin able to hold it in. Thought about winding up for a blast. Now he does, and it gets through to Wong.
Well, I think Irwin kind of regrouped a little bit. He saw Middlestead over, or no, it was Conan, I'm sorry. Conan over on the left side. He was open for a moment, but they closed that gap quickly, so he regrouped, changed the angle, put a pretty good shot on goal. Glove save by Wong. Face off to his left. 2:32 now left.
Swept down into the corner. Rudrud will chase it down. Conan didn't really get a lot on that.
I think he misfired on that one. I think he looked up before he had the play, and that kind of reinforces my theory. I'm not saying I'm right, but that's a little bit of support. Trying to make a play.
Bergslund out of his corner to the head for Fairchild. Trying to get tied up at the blue line with Schmidt. Schmidt will end up back with it. Bank it off the end wall. Back up behind the net once again. It's loose out front, poked out by Eden Prairie as Lee Smith wants a penalty.
Boy, I think that's going to be on Tommy Leeson. He's going to go to the box. Kind of a tough penalty to take. I thought Jensen sold that one quite well. Stick slapping on the ice. He drew a lot of attention. But we're just 1:56, and it might be a timeout for the Eden Prairie coach. I'd have to think if it's not now, it's going to be pretty soon. But he's going to get a chance to rest his ones and get back to action. But this is a big 2 minutes for this Eden Prairie, and I'm not just saying as far as this particular game, but it might have some long-term effects if they can close the gap, and they did take the timeout, and I think what he wants to do is just rest his ones, get possession, and if they're doing okay at about the 1:15 mark with possession and have pretty good energy, I think we're going to see Bullis come out of the net for that extra attacker. Eden Prairie just on the short side of another one-goal game, but I've liked their character and their resiliency in showing up for this third period. I think they've been really the better team this period, but if they can get the puck down low, they've had great success winning those battles. It's just getting it out front is where Wayzata really kind of steps up their game quite a bit, but Wayzata certainly has a huge challenge in front of them with time winning in the third period.
So we haven't talked about these one-goal games all that much. Eden Prairie's been on the short side of quite a few of them this season. And looking like so far they trail by one with 1:56 remaining in regulation. After a while, I think all those close losses start to be a little bit of a wear on your morale, but these Eagles haven't let that become an issue.
Well, it's a very proud program. In fact, as recently as 2009, 2011, they hoisted the Chalice. They've been to the state tournament 3 years in a row, and they have a good quality coach. It's really one of the best coaches I personally have been around in the state of Minnesota. So there's a lot to play for, and it's next man up. They play for their comrade out on the ice, and there's no quit on this team, and I think that's what I've been most impressed with. Yeah, you deal with adversity in certain fashions. It's how you respond to that adversity, and I think Eden Prairie, they just may not have that finishing touch other than maybe Jensen, maybe Jones, and again, maybe Conan, but they just don't have that pure goal scorer. They have players that can score, but they're going to be challenged right now. It's going to be an exciting 2 minutes.
Eden Prairie controlling the face-off. They'll be on the power play for the final regulation, assuming no goal. That rolling puck out loose. Ends up behind the net, up in the corner. Pokes its way back out. Conan with it for Eden Prairie. Langfell's up high. Jensen back up to Rudrud. That one toward the net. The redirect held onto by Wong.
That was a great redirect off the Jensen shot by Lesko. Got it right in front, but Wong did a terrific job of really coming out and cutting off that angle. So even with the redirect, he took everything away, held onto that puck. very desperate time for Wayzata. The goaltender picked him up very large, but good puck movement by Eden Prairie. Good decisions being made, and it looks like Bolus is coming off the ice, 128. So very aggressive by Lee Smith, but he's pulling out all the stops.
6-on-4 for Eden Prairie. Rudderud with it, gets it to Langfelds, down to Jensen. Back up to Rudderud, there's a shot into traffic, rebound. Pops loose behind the net, Conan gets it up to Jones. Jones with it. Conan with it. Going to get it down low behind the net. Jensen, saved by Wong, pokes its way loose. Eden Prairie will have to reset. 1 minute remaining in regulation.
Well, try to go short side. Nice job by Wong, but Langfeld's got in a little deep. They didn't have any other options.
Lesko into the offensive zone. He gets tied up. Held in by the Eagles. Wilhite sends it back up to Conan. Bring it around to Jones. Just trying to get it down low to Lesko. Couldn't quite do it. It'll be held in by Rudderud. That one was off the skate of Jones. I don't think he knew that puck was coming into traffic. Saved by Wong.
Wow, good pressure by Eden Prairie, but again, good defense by this Wayzata team. Very aggressive in front of their net. I think it was Lesko that got cross-checked pretty hard in front. No call being made, so the refs are going to let the kids decide it out on the ice. But Eden Prairie got a couple pretty good looks. But again, that Wayzata stingy defense, they'll get in front of everything that's coming toward their net, supporting their goaltender. But Eden Prairie looking pretty good. But they got 29.5 to make something happen.
Jensen on the face-off. Eden Prairie controls. Langfelds. Down to Jensen. Jensen working his way in. It's loose out front. Ness able to sweep it out to neutral ice for the Trojans. Under 20 seconds. Langfelds will have to play it around his net. Maybe one last rush for the Eagles. And that's not a good start.
No, it's kind of plotting out of the gate. Here they go.
Jensen into the offensive zone. Redirect just goes over the net down to the near side, and that'll do it. Eagles with a good push. They had the extra man and the empty net. 6-on-4. Some good looks, but couldn't quite equalize this one. And Wayzata comes away with a 4-3 victory.
Well, I really like what Lee Smith and the Eden Prairie Eagles did in that third period. I really thought they contested. They were the better team for really a good part of this game. He made all the right decisions, had the right personnel out on the ice, but I think Wayzata, with just their defensive philosophy and the way Coach O'Leary schools their defense to play, if they did get a look, there was going to be a body in front or a shin pad or a stick or something, and when it got through those, then they had Wong in goal that played a wonderful game tonight. But overall, a terrific game by both teams. Wayzata comes out on top 4-3 in front of their home crowd, so they have to feel pretty good about it. But if you're Eden Prairie, don't hang your head. You're moving forward. You're getting better. This is a better team than we saw 5 games ago. So keep turning this direction. They'll be ready for sections. They're going to be tough to play against.
So this game really decided by that flurry by the Trojans in that first period when they scored 3 times in the span of about 3.5 minutes. But other than that, yeah, as you said, Eden Prairie, a great game tonight. Unfortunately, just coming up a little bit short just because of that one bad 3 minutes that they had.
Well, indeed, but again, you have to feel pretty good about the effort from both of these. Very entertaining games, so I want to thank both programs for their efforts tonight. The Shirts Unlimited Player of the Game. I was going to give it to him last time, but he took a misconduct, and just my rule of thumb is if you get a misconduct, you can't get the player of the game. Tonight he played a good, honest game, and that's Colin Schmidt. Scored a goal, had a couple of helpers, very difficult to defend against, got some good opportunities. When he did, it was Bolus that shut him down, but I thought he was a very driving member of this Wayzata win, and a deserved honor for Shirts Unlimited Player of the Game is Colin Schmidt.
So Colin Schmidt, your Shirts Unlimited Player of the Game. Tonight's also brought to you by Walzer Toyota, Tavern on 4 and 5, and Green Mill. Thank you for tuning in to Eden Prairie Boys Hockey tonight. Once again, the final score, Wayzata 4 and Eden Prairie 3. The next telecast of Eden Prairie Hockey scheduled for Saturday night when they take on Benilde St. Margaret's at the St. Louis Park Rec Center. So for Bart Archer, Todd Grover, and Brett Johnson, I'm Patrick Willia. Thank you for tuning in this evening. Have a good night. We'll talk to you next time from an arena near you.